Okay, this is Chapter 7, Lesson 1 and 2. This deals with adding and subtracting fractions with common denominators. In a fraction, we have two numbers. We have the numerator, which is on top, and the denominator, which is on the bottom. And before you can add or subtract them, we have to have a common denominator. They have to be the same. The problems in Lesson 1, they are the same, and Lesson 2. And all they have to do is add or subtract the numerator, the top number. So 3 plus 2 is 5, and the denominator stays the same. We just bring it across. We do not add it. We do not get 5 over 14. We only add or subtract the numerator, which is the top number. The denominator stays the same. That is why they have to be common, because we don't add the bottom. The denominator, we just bring it across. Now here in Lesson 1, the problems down here already have a common denominator. All we got to do is add or subtract the numerator. So we have number 1, 3 plus 4 is 7 over 10. 5 plus 2 is 7 over 8. Number 3, 5 sixths minus 1 sixth. So 5 minus 1 is 4 over 6. Now this is where kids have some problem, is when they have to reduce. 4 sixths can be reduced into a smaller fraction. Since these are small numbers and they're both divisible by 2, we'll have to divide the top, the numerator, and the denominator by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the correct answer is 2/3. Test questions, they'll have problems like number 3, and one of the choices will be 4 sixths. But they can reduce it, so they have to get into the habit of seeing if they can reduce the fraction into lowest terms. Moving on, we got 1/3 plus 1/3. 1 plus 1 is 2 over 3. 4 minus 2 is 2 over 5. 3 plus 3 is 6 eighths. There we go again. 6 eighths can be reduced to lowest terms. You can simplify that because 6 and 8 are both divisible by 2. So the correct answer would be 3/4 for number 6. Again, that will be a test question similar to that where they'll have 6 eighths and 3/4 as answers. Okay, 5 minus 2 is 3 over 8. And 7 minus 3 is 4 over 10. And there we go again, 4/10. 4/10 can be reduced. Since these ones are small, they are divisible by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 2/5 would be the correct answer for number 8. Lesson 2 is more of the same, just more practice. We have common denominators. All we got to do is add or subtract the numerators, but then we have to simplify. We have to reduce it. If one of the numbers is a prime number, then they don't have to reduce it because that number cannot be broken down into any smaller numbers. Let's see, number 1. Number 1, we got 3/4 plus 1/4. 3 plus 1 is 4 over 4. So of course 4/4 is 1 whole. So the answer would be 1 whole. I don't think on the test they're going to try to confuse them and give this as a choice and this as a choice. They just got to know that if the numerator and denominator are the same, that's 1 whole. Number 3, we got 1/5 plus 3/5. 3 plus 1 is 4 over 5. 5/12 minus 3/12. 5 minus 3 is 2 over 12. And right here it says ask yourself, those are very good questions. Did I add or subtract the numerators? Did I keep the denominator the same? And did I simplify my answer? So back to number 4, we had 2/12. course, 2 is divisible by 2, and 12 is divisible by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 12 divided by 2 is 6. So the answer for number 4 is 1/6. A lot of times the students think these are so easy that they do it so fast, and instead of subtracting, they'll add them, and they'll get 8/12 here instead of 2/12. Or they'll subtract and get 2/5 instead of 4/5. So even though it's simple, they need to take their time to make sure they're doing the right subtraction or addition. Number 6, we got 7/12 minus 1/12. 7 minus 1 is 6 over 12. And I've told the students that if the numerator is double the denominator, 6 times 2 is 12, then your simplification is just going to be a half. Whether it's 4/8, 5/10, 6/12, 7/14, 8/16, 25 over 50. If the numerator is double the denominator, all of these equal a half. Got a word problem down here, number 10. Leticia had 3/16 cups of strawberries and 5/16 cups of bananas. Will she have enough for the recipe? Explain your answer. Yeah, well, we need to use the top up here. We need to see if she has enough for half a cup of fruit salad. So we have 3/16 plus 5/16. We have a common denominator, so we don't have to change it. 3 plus 5 is 8 over 16. Now, a lot of students will divide top and bottom by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And they'll stop because they feel that they already simplified it, that they can stop, which is not the case because 4/8 can be broken down into a smaller number. Divide it again by 2, and we get 1/2 or a half. So yes, we do have enough because she needed to make a half a cup of sliced fruit, and or it required half a cup of fruit, and she has half a cup of strawberries and bananas. We always want them to use the greatest common factor for both numbers. If they don't recognize 8/16 as a half and they divide it by 2 and get 4/8 and then leave it there, if they would have used the common denominator of 8, 8 divided by 8 is 1, 16 divided by 8 is 2, and they would have been done instead of dividing it by 2 times. So we want to get them in the habit of trying to find the greatest common factor in order to reduce these fractions. And that's it for the lesson 1 and 2. Lesson 3 and 4 also are similar, but we have to find a common denominator, so that requires some multiplication before we can add or subtract the fractions.